Okay, so today I'm going to be talking about a build, a solo ganking build. This is completely different than a solo PvP build. Ganking is all about killing farmers and taking their shit, waiting out your outlaw timer, and then running home with all the loot. This is very low risk with very high rewards. So I'm going to go over the gear set, and then after I go over the gear sets, or what I use, I will be showing a couple clips and how I like to do things when I get out into the black zone. Okay, so I'm going to be going over the gear set build for we'll call this the claw ganking build. I wear tier 3 bag, tier 4 cape. You can do tier 3 if you can't afford tier 4, but 100% tier 4 because of the max energy and the energy regeneration rate is better. Um, Claws, Sunder Armor, Dash, Disembowel, and Deep Cuts. Sunder Armor, dealing 178 physical damage and reducing the target's armor and magic resistance by 13 for 8 seconds. That stacks 3 times, so if my math is correct, that's 39. Dash, you will use this with your boots. This is a very good initiate because you'll be right on top of the farmer right as he gets on his mount. If he's not paying attention, you're going to be right on top of him with your dash and your boot combo. Disembowel, this is your main stun. Um, Repeatedly deal 83 damage for up to 10 hits. After the first hit, the enemy receives an additional 117 bleed damage per second for 3 seconds. If they get on their mount, this will 100% take down a T3, T4, and a stag, as you'll see in the video. If not, this is just an absolute shredder. If they do not have an invis to cancel the disembowel, that's the only thing that counters the disembowel. I'm pretty sure, as far as I know, is an invis, but this absolutely shreds people, which is beautiful. Um, I run Adept Mage Cowl for poison. That's just extra damage over time. Aggression, obviously, for more damage. Adept Mage Robes, I run Berserker and Aggression. Berserker, this is just in case, if somebody wants to turn and actually try to fight you, you would activate this at 75% health, 50% health, just depending on the scenario, because of the increased damage and resistance. Hunter's Boots, like I was saying. Rush, this is huge. Rush increases your move speed by 120 and the duration of your crowd control abilities by 35% for 3 seconds. That with your dash is absolutely amazing, which you'll see. And obviously Balance Mine. I never use this because I'm not too worried about load. Um, the Goose Omelet reduces cooldown periods and casting times. We do this for the cooldown periods on all of our abilities. Um, I run Poison because poisons the enemy for 7.5 seconds and the resistance are reduced by 25. This is beautiful if you can throw this before you do your disembowel, because if it's a T3, T4 mount, you're going to take it down and you're going to do a little bit of damage to the person when he gets dismounted. The damage does go through the mount, or you keep your channel if they get dismounted, but this is, like I said, this is situational, and very rare will you get this off before you get your disembowel off. So you'll see in the video, and I'll show you just how it works and how I use it. T4, T3 horse, because it's cheap, it's like 2 or 3k. T4 is just too expensive. We're going low risk, high reward potentially. So yeah, another thing is Sticky Potion. I haven't tried this yet because I've been so successful with the Poison Potion, but this is also very good because it'll slow the enemy by 49. So after you do your um, dash, or your boots, and then your dash, your disembowel, you dismount them, and you would throw this in front of them, and then they'd be slow. Because right after you dismount, usually they're going to waste their cooldowns of burst speed and stuff like that. So this could also be another alternative for the poison potion. And without further ado, I will show you some clips, and I'll try to explain how I like to do things when I'm going out solo ganking. So stay tuned. Okay, so before I get balls deep into this video, I'm just going to go over a few things on this map that I have put a few marks on. Obviously the center, the portal to Caerleon, is that big green glowing thing. That's where you're going to be coming out of. The red dots, or the red circles, on the northeast part of the map and the northwest part of the map, those are zone outs, so people can use those to their advantage if they are farming near them. So just keep that in mind. And then the green square is a guild keep, which you want to try to avoid being around, because if there's a couple guys in there and they see a death around the keep, they could go out to inspect or avenge a fallen comrade if he is your target. I like to observe my map depending on where I go. In this case, for Blencartha, I would be roaming on the southern tip or the eastern tip, anywhere in that area, because it's far away from a zone out and it's far enough from a guild keep and the portal. If anybody's, banging at the portal or fighting at the portal, it's not too close, so you won't get a huge zerg coming out to check it out if you kill somebody close there. Sometimes I'll get a little risky and go to the middle, but those are the couple things that you want to keep in mind is the guild keep and the zone outs and the portal. Another thing you're going to want to keep an eye on as you're doing your routes or if you zone out into another area is guild owned areas that not necessarily guild keeps but actual areas that have a guild city, because there's usually two ways out. It's very risky because there's going to be a bunch of alliance people there that are farming, doing their thing, and then if you end up killing somebody, you're just going to have a massive zerg on your back. So I would highly advise staying away from the guild city areas that are, it'll be a huge ginormous square on your map with certain buildings placed inside, which you'll notice if you ever run into one. Another thing to keep in mind, the reason why I do not like killing people by these zone outs is because they gain a huge advantage and it's by a road. People are always traveling on roads and coming in through the zone outs. So if you're chasing a farmer, even though he's half HP and he zones through, and then a huge zerg comes through and they see you chasing that guy, if they're hungry, they're going to come for you. And then that just gives that guy that you were chasing a chance to leave. I know this is low risk, high reward, what we're working with, but we want to try to be successful with what we're doing, and we want to be smart and try to plan out our ganks so we have the highest percent of success rate. And obviously this is going to be different for every map or every zone that you go into, so those are just a few things that you want to keep track of while you're ganking and planning out your routes. So I will get into a video and kind of break down or comment on what I do or how everything goes, and then I'll just let a few clips play after that so you can just watch and see more of it in action. Okay, so at this point I'm about to choose where I'm going to go. I take a look at the map. I'm going to check around to see, who owns what territory, where I should go, where I think that I will be most successful at. I'll just let this play, and then as I keep going through, I'll commentate a little bit more. I choose Blencartha in this case because I saw the guild territories weren't anybody that I had to worry about, and also the portal at Blencartha they're fairly close to the zone outs, so I can use that to my advantage to gain shield and whatnot. At this point, I am basically just scouting the area. I decided to say fuck it and go out because I don't see anybody that I should be worried about. And you're going to see me skirt the area for about a minute or so. I'm just making sure that there's nobody out here that's set up for a gank squad that I should be worried about. Making sure the area is clear and that I am good to go for my ganking. But I'm going to let this play, and then once the gank comes about, I'll start talking a little bit more, and then I might pause the video just to explain or break down what's going on. As you can see, I have this guy behind me. I'm not too worried about him because I'm almost positive he's going to zone out. But you can see me when I get up here. I'm going to hold up just a little bit to make sure they're not following me. If they are, that's when you would plan your route back to the portal and circle the portal. I necessarily don't go through yet, just because they could just be fucking with me. So I would circle the portal where you would get your shield, and then go from there. At this point, I'm basically just going to go back and make sure that they aren't following me. Once I know that they're not following me, I'm going to continue on my route. One other thing that you want to keep in mind is that if resources are down like this, you probably want to dismount and scout the area to make sure that there is not an active farmer. Just keep that in mind. Okay, so here's my first victim, Pink Lips. I'm going to continue riding by because she already sees me as a threat. If I dismount, it's not going to be in my favor, so I'm going to continue on. She no longer sees me as a threat. I hear her get off her mount and hit the ore. I'm going to get her off of my screen, dismount, and get my abilities up. Once my abilities are up, I will then make my move. I will get her on my screen, dash with my boots, dash with my W. I get my stun off, but she is on the mount. It's okay. She is now off the mount. I will throw my poison potion and then use my poison on my cow for damage over time. I notice she is over encumbered. She does a one-time rush that will allow her to not be over encumbered. I'm just closing the gap with my dash, but once her over encumbered dash is up, she's pretty much fucked. I will dash again with my W here and then basically get damage off on her with my Q. I throw in a berserker right here just for a little bit of extra damage, but the Q damage should secure the kill. As I loot the person, I notice she does have a stag and a better bag. I equip the better bag and I get the stag. I will then loot everything because this is a low risk, high reward, so we want everything. I will put the stag on just because it's faster, it's better. We just acquired it, we might as well use it. Another thing to keep in mind is while I am off the mount, I am over encumbered. This is a risk that I am willing to take. As long as I'm on the stag, I'm fine. But if a Zerg dismounts me, I'm completely fucked, and I'm okay with that just because I want to try. This is a low risk, high reward. I want to try to get everything back. Our next step is to plan our escape and run our outlaw timer out. The outlaw timer is 2 minutes or 2 minutes and 30 seconds. So we're going to run that timer out, and once that timer is out, we are going to run back to the portal and secure the loot. The route that you choose to take after your outlaw timer is up is totally up to you. There's no set way to do it, so I wish you luck on whichever way you choose. I will show some more raw clips without me commenting, so you can see the claw build in action just a little bit more. Alright, so that does conclude our solo ganking claw build video. Hopefully you learned a little bit that you didn't know before. Hopefully you go try this out, maybe get some fat loot. If you have any questions at all, you can ask me on Discord. My name is the same as in-game, Night Night. This is a little bonus clip I put in. This is what it feels like to get zerged. I was out doing a solo gank run and I ended up running into a bunch of arch members, but luckily I did end up dicking on one of them and causing him a little bit of an emotional net loss, so that was fantastic. And anytime you get put in a situation where you know you're possibly not going to make it out alive, but you can take out 1 or 2 people, go ahead and do that, because you want to cause them a little bit more emotional net loss than before they started the battle. So thanks for watching. Hopefully you learned something, and I'll see you in game.